Hey guys, welcome back everyone. So first of all, thank you so much for your love and support and happy new year to everyone. So today we are starting the new series and which is called Nexus One. And in this video series, we are going to talk about, the complete Nexus part. So in Nexus, we are going to talk about the layer two, like spanning tree, VLAN, Ether channel, and so on. Then we're gonna talk about the layer three as well, like a routing protocols, OSPF, GRP, BGP, static route, right? Not only the configuration perspective, we are also gonna talk about how you can troubleshoot and how you can verify the command line as well. Now, apart from this thing, right, we're also gonna talk about right which Nexus model is preferred for the which design as well. So design perspective also, this is gonna helpful for you. So before I'm gonna start, right, I let you know the first of all why we came with the Nexus. What is the reason behind it? Why Cisco introduced the Nexus one? So let me tell you the simple thing. First of all, we already have a Catalyst one, and do Catalyst do support all the layer two and layer three technology. Cisco introduced the Nexus in 2008. If you see the Wikipedia, let me show you that. So you can go with Wikipedia, Cisco Nexus, right, and Wikipedia. You can have a right, not this one. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, this one. So if you see that, right, Cisco has introduced the Nexus in the January 2008, and the first model of the switches they have introduced, it was the Nexus 7000 family. We'll talk about whatever the Nexus 7000, 2000, 1000. We'll talk about, leave it right now. Okay, but the reason why Cisco came with the Nexus, right, in 2008, what's the reason behind it, right? If you already have a Catalyst one, see, if I talk about, there's a lot of documents we have, right, for the Nexus and Catalyst as well, right? And a lot of document is giving the lot of information, right? And even the Cisco Press books as well. So if I give you the few reasons, right, why should you go with the Nexus, right? So one of the major reason that is speed. Speed is the one of the major reason that you should choose the Nexus one, because the Nexus offer you the 1 gig, 100 gig, 200 gig, 400 gig, 800 gig of bandwidth as well. One port is going to carry this amount of the bandwidth. Second thing is that you have a reliability. Reliability in the sense of what? Am I talking about the data plane? Sorry, am I talking about the security perspective, the data plane traffic? No. Reliability in the sense of what? You have a your device, right? Your Nexus devices has a high availability. So if I talk about the power supply, if I talk about the that's called the PS, right? Power supply. If I talk about the fans, right? If I talk about the route processor, we can call as a soup engine as well. So you have a multiple power supply and the fans and the supervisor engine. So if one goes down, it is not gonna impact to the complete boxes. You have a backup one, right? So that's the meaning of reliability in the Nexus one, right? Apart from this two one, right? Apart from this two one, I need a device, right? I need a device who is a more scalable than the Catalyst one. Scalability in the sense of what? Scalability in the sense of, let's say example, I have a millions of the route, right? And I want to store the millions of the route. Maybe that your Catalyst device is not going to handle that one, right? I need a MAC address table, right? Who can handle the millions of the MAC address table, MAC address as well. That is maybe not handled by the Catalyst one. So that's another reason why we should choose the Nexus one. The another one, if I talk about the virtualization concept, right? So the Cisco Nexus one support the lot of virtualization. Let's say example of the you have a BBC, right? You have a VXLAN as well. So these things you can do on the Nexus one as well. These are the few major reasons that you should pick the Nexus one. And one of the best reason, right, why you should go with the Nexus one, that's a unified architecture. So Nexus devices do support the data traffic as well, right? At the same time, what happened on the Nexus side, you can also deal with the storage traffic as well, right? So that's the meaning of unified. So your one device, right? Your one device can handle the both kind of traffic. Either you have data traffic or other storage traffic. They can handle the both traffic as well. This is the another reason why should you pick the Nexus one. So before the 2008, right? If I talk about, there was no Nexus. It was only the Catalyst was there, right? Of course, other routers, XR was also there, iOS was also there, right? But after we have identified there's a lot of issues we have, there is a lot of challenge we have in the network, and that's why I became with the Nexus one. So if I talk about the Nexus, right, the Nexus was came in the 2008. The first model of the Nexus was a 7000 family. Apart from this one, if you see, these are the another models we have, right? So we have a Nexus 1000, right? That's a totally virtual switch. We have a Nexus 2000. We'll talk about each one in a days by days. So we have a Nexus 2000, we have a Nexus 3000, we have a Nexus 4001. That's a third party one, right, for the Blade server. And the Nexus 5000, we have Nexus 6000, we have Nexus 7000, we have, right, Nexus 9000, we have. In production network, you can encounter any one of them, right? So let's say, let me give you a very quick example right now. So Nexus 7000 series, right? This is the first series that Cisco came with. Right now, if I talk about this series, is totally end of support and end of life as well. But in production network, you can encounter the Nexus 70 as well. So in examination, it will be not there, but in the production, you can encounter it. So we are not gonna, of course, right? The Nexus 7000 is a very costly one, right? So even the virtual image for the Nexus 7000 is not available on the EVNG as well, right? But there's one of the interesting features in Nexus 7000. We have a VTC console. We'll talk about that one as well. But we'll also talk about the whatever the components of the all these devices as well. Now, if I talk about this Nexus, right, the Nexus devices are comes in the two mode. One is called the not two mode, I can call it. In a two flavor, we can call it. In a one is called a modular device and non-modular device as well. In a modeler, what happened? You have a multiple line card, right? You have a multiple line card and you have multiple soup engine as well, right? So you can remove it, right? And you can reinsert it back again. So let's say example, if your line card one has a faulty and if the line card two is working fine, I can remove the line card one, right? And I can inject the new line card over here. So it will not impact to the line card number two. But in the non-modular, what happened? It's a single pizza box, right? So where you cannot remove the models over here. That's why we call it a model. So you have multiple models in the modular switches. In non-modular switches, what happened? You do not have a lot of models. So it's simple like a pizza box. So if something is happening with this particular pizza box, last and you can call as the last resort, right? You need to restart and boot the chassis again. So these are the things you have. I recommend you please follow the Wikipedia, right? That is going to give you a lot of information, right? Let's example. If you see the Nexus 7000 series right now, if you click on the Nexus 7000 series, it will give you whatever the models we have, 7004, 7009. Every model has a different, features over here. We'll talk about this one later, but let me focus on the Nexus part right now. Same way, you can also explore the, Cisco Nexus, right? The Cisco website where you can see that the different switches as well we have it. So if you go down, and here we go, the data center switches. These are the catalyst one. I'm looking for the data center networking, and so you can also go with the this particular link as well, right? And you can explore the more about the Nexus 3K, Nexus 9K, you have it, right? Nexus 6K, you also have it, right? So you can see that we have a fixed switching, right? That's called a non-modular one, right? And then we have a modular switching as well, right? So these are the non-modular one and these are the modular one as well. And you can also have a whatever, if you want to look for the high density and transport of the switches, you can click on this one. It will give you, right, what of the models we have it. If you look for the switches who have a ultra low latency, you can also look for this one. If you look for the a device who support the storage area networking, you can click on this one and it will give you the information, right, which device they do support the storage area networking as well. So these things are there. Now, if I talk about the configuration guide point of view, So you can follow this one, Nexus configuration guide for layer 2, right? So these are the configuration guide for the layer 2 switching, right? So where you're going to talk about the layer 2 switching with the flex link in the VLANs, VTP, private VLAN concept, MSTP, and so on. Same way, right? You can also look for the layer 3 as well. So why I'm recommending you the look for the configuration guide, right? So this configuration guide is gonna give you the lot of information if you're gonna compare with the Cisco Pressbooks as well, right? So regarding right whatever the new technologies are coming, so all this information you can get over here. Just you can click on the which version you wanna look for. So it will give you the versions as well. So right now it's gonna have a 6.x. You can go with the 10.65 anything, whatever you have in the production network. So this is the best one, right, to gather the information, right? So we'll go through these documents as well during the training. Okay. So I hope this is clear to all of you. And one more last thing, that how we can do the lab. So lab we are gonna do on the EVNG, right? So we have a virtual image for the Nexus we can do on the EVNG, and some of the lab I'll also show you on the real devices. So I have it real devices where I can show you the some of the labs on the real devices as well. But stay tuned, right? I'll see you in the next video with the basic Nexus configuration, right, on the EVNG, and gradually we'll move to the layer 2 and layer 3 as well. Thank you so much, guys.